Hi, everybody, Tal here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about reality, the perception of reality and change, how we try and create change in our reality. So, when we look at all the different ways that we as human beings try and heal our lives, heal our reality, heal coronavirus, what we see is we have modern medicine, we have all kinds of other forms of medicine, we have politics, we have law enforcement and legislation. We have all kinds of means to take action and create change in our societies, in our bodies, in our families. And all of them usually are about external action. There are some things that we do to create internal change. But what I want to talk about today is why internal change or changing our perception of reality and what we do with that perception of reality is really the most important thing and something that we often overlook. Okay, I've been studying spiritual methods, the method of Kabbalah for over 12 or 13 years now. And what's really opened up before me is a whole new understanding of what life is, right? We think that we are a physical body living in a physical universe with other physical bodies and objects all around us. And then this physical body lives its life and then it dies, and that's all we know, right? We don't know much beyond that. But since I experienced a near death experience, and other people who have experienced that this world can be so transient and so often pressureful, then all of these experiences can push one to feel that that can't be it. Like there has to be more. And so many people, I think, today are looking for these spiritual methods, are looking for deeper understanding of reality, and feeling, sensing that there's more that we can do to influence our reality than the external action. So I want to share with you what I have discovered on my path about how we can shift reality, how we can create change from the inside out, and what we need to understand for that to happen. So, first of all, there are all of these things that we've been doing up until now, right? There's meditation, there's yoga, there's, I don't know, you guys can share with me what you've been doing, all of that. And really, where it's pointing us is to focus on our internal state, on our emotions, on our thoughts, on our intentions, right? And we think that the more positive they can be, the more positive our reality will be, higher vibrational thoughts, more positive thoughts will create better realities, and so on and so forth. So that is true to an extent, but I think there's a deeper level here that we need to know. So here we go. I'll try to explain it. It's kind of deep. Let me know if you follow this explanation, if it was clear or not. So here's how Kabbalah explains it. This reality is not material. It's a reality of forces. Okay, forces as in force fields, right? A field of forces. And there are actually two forces in reality: positive and negative, plus and minus. And these two forces are at play on every single level of reality, from the smallest atoms to the bigger, the planets, and also our bodies, of course, and also, and this is the interesting part, our inner psychology and our spiritual life. Now, we see the plus and minus play out like right everywhere else in the biology and the ebb and flow of the ocean and night and day. We see it everywhere, of course, in electrical circuits. We see it, but we don't see it inside of us. We don't see it in our psychology or in our spiritual lives. And here's how to begin to become aware of it. So let's start with the negative, okay? Because the negative is something we all experience even without knowing it. The negative force in our lives is actually our self, all of us. Doesn't sound so good, right? But what this means is our I would say natural or default state of consciousness is a state of separateness. We experience ourselves as separate from what's outside of us, from the whole, from nature, from other people. And this state of separateness, we can also call it our ego. Okay, this is the negative force at play in our consciousness, in our inner psychology. And this has a lot of attributes. It's very interesting to go into on its own because, for example, we always want to feel that we are above other people. There's this comparison going on all the time. It's basically what causes all of the neurosis, all of our depression, all this the bad stuff comes from this negative force in our life, also called the ego. Now, I'm in no way saying that this is like bad that we have it. We need ourself, right? We need our ego. We need it. This is why it was created to begin with. But we need to learn how to balance it with a positive force. So, what is the positive force? Now, the positive force is usually only on the level of potential in most of us because most of us have not yet really begun to evolve it. Now, the positive force is the opposite of the ego. It's a consciousness of unity, a consciousness of connection, our connection to the whole, to nature. Nature is the positive force. It's a system of interconnection that we're part of. It's like the womb, right? And that is the positive force in our life. Now, why am I saying that it's a potential? Because each of us, inside of us, has this little seed of the positive force inside their psyche or in their psychology or in their heart, if you will. It's an inclination towards connection. It's inclination towards being one with all of life. But we are given it only as this little seed of potential. And our task here in this life is to evolve this potential, this spiritual awareness of our oneness and connection to all things. And this potential is really ripe right now. Humanity has come to a point in its evolution that the negative force, the individualism, the sense of separateness, and the division has become so great, has become so evolved that we're becoming completely and very, I would say, extremely out of balance with nature, with the positive force of nature. And that is why we're experiencing all the crises, the coronavirus, the divisiveness in our societies, the world falling apart. It's really the birthing pains of the new consciousness or the positive force that wants to be evolved as well to come in and balance that negativity that has grown so big. So let's get a little more to how we do that. What does that actually mean for each one of us? So first, as I was saying, it means that we need to view our reality as a play of forces. And it means that the reason we're seeing the world as so shattered, as so broken, as so full of chaos and hate and death and illness and suffering, excuse me for saying it like it is, the reason that is happening is that internally we are out of balance. Internally and collectively, the ego is much bigger and much stronger than the positive force. And for us to balance it out, we need to start focusing on evolving our positive unity consciousness, which we each can do and we each have the potential to do. Some of us are closer to it, others are more far from it. But anyone who's hearing this and is saying, yes, I feel this, I feel that I have this internal longing to expand my consciousness and to feel more at one with things and to see reality for what it is and to understand how the inner workings of things, to understand who is running this show and what are the actual laws or rules to reality. Please, somebody give me that playbook so I know how to play this game, right? If you have this feeling that you resonate with this, that means that it's ripe in you. You're ready to evolve your higher self, your unity consciousness. So that awareness is the first stage, that we're aware that reality is not material, that it's a play of forces, and that if we increase our connection, our inclination towards love and unity, then we shift the state of forces within us, and thus also the state of reality itself. So this awareness leads us to start practicing this. And as I've said, I've been practicing this, I've been learning this for over 12 years. It's a process. But basically, what I feel needs to happen right now is for us to start forming these groups or environments where we start practicing unity consciousness together. It means that we start connecting around this sort of content. It means that we start discussing things that are important to us by listening to each other, and connecting to each other above our different opinions, because that's how we create unity consciousness that is able to include differences, include different opinions, and heal divisions. And so in these environments, we begin to support each other and connect to each other above what divides us, above ego. And we need to learn how to practice this inside our relationships, in our relationships with our partners, with our families, with our children. There's a lot to learn. And I do talk about this here on Instagram, also on my website. There are a couple of courses that are already available that you can check out on www.choosingtoconnect.com. And so we need to start practicing this. We need to start creating these environments where we evolve our consciousness into the higher form of consciousness that wants to be born right now. So I'm telling you this with a lot of concern, with a lot of desire for this to become known, for this to become widespread, for us, at least in like the smallest thing I want people to know or to take from this is that reality is not material, and we shift reality by shifting our inner play of forces from individualistic egoism to unity consciousness and connection. That's it. If we can do that, if we begin to shift in that direction and want that, nature will start helping us out, because it constantly responds to our wishes and our desires, and we will be on the safe, healthy, smooth path towards our higher states of development. So leave your comments, leave your questions. Let's continue to talk about this and make this our reality, because it wants to happen. It wants to be born. And until we do this, we'll just experience more and more pressure in that direction. So let me know what you thought about this. Waiting to hear from you. Bye for now.